soil. If you don't want to go to the store and buy stuff, buy fertilizer. I'll show you a quick way. I mean, look, this is a nice branch that's applied to you. You can use that as fertilizer. Now this is a rough example. Everything isn't like this. Now there are risks of spiders, yes. There are a risk of snakes, yes. But I just showed you ways to deter those creatures. And if you actually think like them, or you actually just analyze using your common sense or just your senses, it'll help you to know what to do or to know what to look for. If you observe here, I'm looking just from looking at it visually, I can tell, okay, I don't see anything moving. So it should be fine. And I know that it's cold, so snakes are cold-blooded. They want to stay warm, so I'm assuming that no snakes are here because this is a cold climate and the season is cold. Now for spiders, the same deal. However, sometimes spiders in the morning, they like to create webs interlocking in between different things and catch insects. Spiders are good. They keep pests away. They actually kill them. So spiders are good. If they're in your home, I understand you want to kill them. Okay, everybody's different. That's fine. But out here, they're actually good. So we don't have any inner webs or anything like that. So no spiders. We don't have to look out, worry about it. So I'm good on all three of those ones. Now we do see a spider here, and this is a grandfather spider. For those who are like sensitive to acrophobia or anything like that, I'm not going to pick it up. But that's a grandfather spider. I call it, or we call it here in the South. That's not going to bite you or anything. They're actually pretty. They're harmless. But you look here, deep in this soil, and this is what I use. This is all black soil here, all black. And this is natural. This is under the shade of the pine trees, and these are branches and things that have just deteriorated over time. And that shade from the pine trees causes it not to the moisture not to evaporate, and for everything to break down at a really nice rate and give this nutrients under all of this. And I mean, look, that's just one example of this small little area. This is look how long that is. Look at how long this is. So this is all just fertilizer for free, sitting outside. And I mean, look.
You say free?
Free.
He said free, didn't he?
Free. So, I mean that if you take care
free
of
self-made fertilizer, guys, right down there.
if you take care of the plants when they're young, like they'll take care of you for the rest of their life. You just take care of them when they're little, and they'll be disease resistant, pest resistant, whatever your home or your area of land or the problems it might have. The trees will overcome it. Oh, this is plastic.
So actually, that soil that he was showing us that, is free for you to use on your land, as you can tell, that's exactly the type of soil that he actually created on the other side of the property.
Right.
So you can literally do what Mother Nature is doing, showing you to do actually, and create a really nice topsoil for your, whatever it is that you're trying to grow.
And this is a good example of what I was talking about.
Oh, whoa.
See? That's a good example of what I was talking about. Nothing wrong with the spider. When you look at that spider, just think about Charlotte's Web. It created it's a beautiful web.
Yeah, I don't know if they can see it through this lens.
Yeah, but if you look, I mean, you can see like a little tiny, you'll see the indentation of it. But in any case, what I like about this spider's web is that it's researched that if this spider's web was real, it could hold back a airplane that's going to crash. That's how strong it is. So I mean, look here, I can touch it, and it's literally sticking to my hand. You can't see that, but look, it's literally sticking to my hand. Is how strong this is, and I have to pull with a lot of force to just get that web out of my hand. And look, it hasn't even harmed the web. The web is still there, intact. Strong stuff, man. And natural. And we're still researching, trying to figure out how to create that. At this time, most likely in the future, that might be cracked. But in any case, this is a plant here. I don't know what these plants are. Some of them, and I just like to watch them grow because I can learn from them too. Oh, I didn't show you. I don't know what kind of plant this is, but I use the same. This is like an experiment.
Almost like a strawberry. It's not a strawberry plant?
I don't know. It might be.
Looks like a strawberry.
Okay. But I did the same thing. This is tree bark. I put the tree bark on top of this dirt. And this dirt wasn't dirt. This dirt was actually pine cones and broken up sticks and a little bit of dirt. And over time it just broke down. And I can put my hand through this. Look, that's root. That's the root from this. That's a real root. This tree's root has literally 1,000 roots in there. This is marigolds here. Oh, and you look. Marigolds here, and what's that? Collard greens there. This is more collard greens and marigold here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 collard greens and marigolds. This is, actually I can clip this one off because you see how this is drooping a little bit.
Right.
And it's low.
Mm-hmm.
So before that nutrients comes out of the plant, it's gonna hit this one. It's gonna try to take care of this one. I don't want it to do that. I want to take it off. And so that way, it's no longer sending any nutrients to this. It's sending it straight here to these. Now, if I try to do this too much over time, this young, I can damage this plant. So I don't want to do it that much. I just want to do it to where, okay, if these were dead, these two were dead, I'll leave it alone. If this one was dead, I'll clip it off. If it was left to these three and one of them was dead, I'll leave it alone until it gets bigger. And then I would do it. When the plants are this young, they're very, very sensitive. So you don't want to do the wrong stuff. But yeah, that's it. Pretty much. I mean, yeah, well, I have a little project down there I can show you. I mean, all of this area, I mean, all of it has a different a way you can use it. To over there in the fields, to over here. And this is the fields of the actual activity area. This is the incubation place under here. And you'll probably ask, well, why do I say that? Well, stop. And look at each one of these trees. Look at the base of these trees. There's straw missing. There's nutrients missing. And that's all the stuff that I've taken from this tree and put over there. Now, over time, if you notice, there are pine needles all over the ground, which means that this tree, all these pine needles are going to shed and come right down here. And this is going to be filled up again next year. And I can take it again. And I mean, if you don't believe me, just watch this. This is hard, right? But look, at the base, there's still some nutrients left.
Yep.
There's still some left.
Yep, Mother's Nature way of replenishing itself.
So, I mean, you see how many trees there are in here. So that's all the fertilizer that we have to work with. All this is fertilizer, and I study, look at it, and I look at what's going on. This tree right here, this creates the richest wood I have ever seen in my life. But I mean, I haven't been that many places with different woods, but this wood here is super duper rich. I wish I had one to show you, but the wood on these plants is like meat, like dirt meat on steroids. I'm not gonna walk in here too deep, but I'm gonna glance and just see if I can find, like here.
They can barely hear you.
I'm sorry, but what I was saying was I was going to glance and see what I could find without entering the woods. For some people, they don't like to go into these parts if you're not familiar with it. which is understandable. So I can stand on the perimeter and I can look around and try to find the wood and see what I'm looking for. And if it looks too thick or it's not safe, then we don't go in there. But if it looks okay and it's clear, like this area, that's fine. So this is what I was looking for. If you look at the inner part of this tree, this branch, you see how condensed this wood is. And I know that's hard to see if it's not decayed, but I can tell from just looking at this that this wood is super duper rich. Now, I'm gonna try to find one that is broken down and show it to you guys. And you can see how rich it is. Like here, this isn't the one I'm looking for, but you can see that this is broken down to a point to where it's like very, very rich. It's melting. If this was butter, this would be melting in my hand. So this one is kind of wet, but it's still not what we're looking for. But I think you get the point of what I'm saying. But yeah, this is a good project area. Places like this, over time in the summertime or springtime when it's warmer in here, and you come in the morning, there's a possibility of snakes. So you want to wait till the right time, a little warmer in the day. In that summertime, when it is warmer, like places like this, if it was warm, I don't want to approach this because there could be a snake under here, or there could be anything under here. That's a little indication of something could be living there, but if we look closer, it's just the opening. There's a small spider there. So you see these things, all this stuff is living, so you want to respect it. Just give it its space and use common sense, as I said, or your senses. If it's too loud or you hear footsteps, could possibly be an animal, okay, walk away. Or if something doesn't smell right, could be a skunk. You don't want to get sprayed. So just common sense stuff like that. There's actually a owl's nest, or there's actually an owl's nest or a bat dwelling in one of these trees that have died over here. Now I'm gonna step over this wire fence just so you know that there's a wire fence there. If you look, there's a dead tree right there, and it's actually a creature's home. Each one of those holes is a nest. So the birds might use it, an owl might use it at night, whatever. But all of that is, I mean, this is like a community. Think about it like a city. It's like that for nature. Here is the same thing. I mean, this is really nice. This is really nice. So you see the same thing. I mean, under all of that, each one of these trees offers nutrients.
But of course, he's not suggesting that you get the soil from there, because now you hurt that tree.
Exactly. So, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. You have to wait over time, and you want to give everything time to heal up, to restore, and then you come and collect it. Like think about the American Indians, same deal. They had it right. They had a good foundation here. I'm showing you an area that I used, which is why we're walking over here. And look at that. There's a species of flower there that survives, and it's wild. This isn't even this wasn't grown indoors. This is just a wild flower that survived this late in this season. I don't even know what these flowers are. But little children actually enjoy and appreciate stuff like this. There's some cartoons that actually depict this a good bit. If you want your child to watch something and then at the same time get a positive message about nature, which is Tinkerbell, Disney. That's a good place to start. They use a lot of natural stuff in their cartoons, which is pretty cool. But if I go in there are sticker browse here, and they'll stick to your clothes. But if I go in there, I actually chop those tall, straight trees that you see. Those are perfect for posts. I'm not sure what species of tree that is, but it's a certain type of tree, and over time when the tree dies, the wood contracts and it gets hard. It gets more like a rock. This is just my hypothesis, what I've seen, And if you put it all together, you don't even have to use nails. You can just use string, tie it together, and create posts in the TP style, where you have the sticks laid against each other, 2 sticks there, and then 1 stick on that side. And you take a longer tree there, and you chop it off, and you trim it. You can actually put that on top of the 2 TPs and create a for the lack of a better word, a line for the plants. And those plants can grow over the top of that TP. I'm not sure if you can visualize what I'm saying, but those plants can grow over the top of that line, like a trellis, and bear fruit. I did that with the watermelon. That actually worked. It aerated the watermelon. It caused the air to go through the watermelon. And when air can travel through those plants, it can actually give the predator pests, or rather the predator insects, a chance to catch the pest. Because with a watermelon, the pest is an aphids, and black ants. The black ants will eat at the blossoms from that watermelon and cause it to die. And the blossom will go like this, like my hand. You see the black ants crawling around in the blossom, and then over time, the blossom will do this, and then it'll just fall off. So what I'm talking about, building something like that, and it aerates it, that circulation. Yeah, the vine branches will die. That's in the air. Yeah, that's a possibility. I've seen that from my own experience. But the vines that grow to the ground after that point, they actually create watermelons or whatever fruit that you want to bear, or whatever crop too. But watermelons are a good example of something to do that with. Grapes, grapevines, that's a good example of something to do that with. And it's like I said, I've only been doing this for less than 2 years. I just started doing this. I grew up with a family that did it, but I didn't do it personally until now. So there are some people out there that might watch this and say that some of the stuff, or see that some of the stuff I'm saying is a little bit elementary, or that it might be simple. And that's because I just started. So this is my own research, my own experience, my journey. And I'm pretty sure 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I'm gonna know a whole lot more about this than I know at this point. And so keep that in mind. There's another project area coming up that I like to use. If you'll notice, this used to be like a whole bunch of sticks and stuff used to be under here. You couldn't get to that, and it used to be overgrown with trees and stuff. I've chopped that down, and now I created a little project area. All this used to be thick. All of this right here used to be thick and filled up with a bunch of sticks, a bunch of straw, and under that straw was this right here. It's not here anymore, but it's still kind of here because of the shade. Look at that, that's the ground. That is actually the ground. So all of this is that, and that's because of the shade from these big pine trees. And this is one species of tree. There are other trees out there that might be richer than this, like in Brazil, in those exotic areas. Might be just like this, but a lot bigger and a lot healthier and even more nutrients. Which brings up another point that I just thought about. I'm going to show you something of how I use and create my own super fertilizer organically. And that's just by whatever we use in the house, we put under the straw. So you see there, this is these are banana peel and okra. And you see there the biggest pest that we have a problem with here in this part, the ants. So this is my second year, less than 2 years doing this, but I'm gonna figure out a way so that this whole area there are no more ants. And to do that, I'm gonna research ants and just figure out how they work as a predator, as a pest. Since it's so vast a problem in this area, concentrate on them for a little while, eliminate that problem, and take out a whole bunch of bigger problems at the same time. And that's if I'm here and actually able to concentrate on this project for that long. But because of what I'm gonna do in my business endeavors, I'm gonna use this knowledge regardless. So while I'm here at my mother's place, while she's retired helping out, that gives it a great opportunity to use this experience for the future. because for now I'm just working as a freelance, doing this freelance. So the next career step could be a gardening center. Who knows? The next career step could be Food Network or a gardening show or channel. The possibilities are endless, and for my own business. So all this experience, all this is great to take advantage of. So you saw there, that was banana peels. So in another area here, if I can find, that is actually, I'm gonna wash my hands too. That's actually a corn cob,
Yeah.
right? And it's a big watermelon here. So, and there's more banana peels, and it's gonna become a part of that, and it's not gonna evaporate because the straw is there. There's actually a big watermelon, if I can find it, somewhere around here. And it's just turned upside down. The reason I want to show you that so bad is because when I turn that watermelon upside down, flip it like that, and it's still filled with that watermelon, the dirt is going to just start eating at it, and it's going to be very, very rich and create some really nice soil. But anyway, under all of that straw that you see, there's stuff going on under there. And each time that we eat something, each time we eat fruit rather, no meat, no bones. Everything just fruit, because fruit breaks down easy. If you use meat and stuff like that and bones, I don't think bones will break down, and I think that the meat will break down, but that's not the kind of nutrients that I want for plants. I want to keep it in their family, just my own personal preference. But under this straw here, it's going to be the same thing. I just laid this straw down, and as we eat the banana peels, we just pull this back, throw it in there, and cover it up. And the grass that you saw under there, over time, is going to die, and it's going to create its own border. And when I see grass growing over that border, I'm going to put sticks down, line the sticks down, and put the straw over it, and then a new barrier is going to create itself. That's it. All natural.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for tuning into my channel.
That's good.
Travel, tasting, inspiration.
Yeah.
All right, with my brother Matthew Funches.
Most definitely.
And then, you're going to see some other things concerning him as well. Actually, he actually is a musician. He's actually a musician. So anyway, all right, guys, as I like to use a final note, as far as, make sure whatever your goal is, make sure that it's worth it. Okay, make sure that it's worth it. It might be challenging, but worth it. Remember that.